Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another One Piece anime reaction. This time we got 3 episodes to react to, episodes 1130, 1131, and 1132. This starts with the God Valley flashback episode, I think, the real one where we see Roger and stuff. And then I know we get into some Kuma stuff, which I've been waiting to see. So we don't have a chapter this week, so I thought it was a good chance to just kind of, react to some anime, fill in the gap a little bit. So also, Vex, I see you in the chat. Bro got right to business this time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As soon as I saw the stream starting soon thing pop up, I was like, we don't have to wait. Let's get into it. We need to see what's going down. I've heard a lot of discussion about these episodes. I'm sure the anime onlys are eating right now because this was some crazy stuff. So I'm excited to see it myself. And like I said, there's no chapter this week, so it's a good time to watch some anime. I'm going to wait just a minute or two for people to pile in, so if you're watching the VOD, I apologize, but just skip ahead a little bit and you'll see. I got the episode, in the top left. I'm sorry I don't, play the sound or show, like, the full thing or whatever. I know some channels do that. I got hit by Toei the one time I tried, so we're going to keep doing this because this has worked. I have thought about starting a Patreon, so that way I can just show the episode in in a more full manner, but haven't got around to that yet, so hopefully it will happen. But for now we're still doing this, so hopefully that works. We have the time, the stopwatch, I guess, and a little bit of the episode up there. So like I said, just a couple minutes and then we'll get into it. I don't want to take too long. It's also Friday, so I want to go do some things. I just walked the dogs. I've been working on the house a lot, so if you've been wondering where the videos are, because I said in my last stream I was going to try having 2 videos out this week. Whenever I said that, I did not know that my editor was busy, so that pushed everything back a little bit. So I'm really trying to get 1 done this weekend, but if not, we got some good videos coming. Well, I don't want to rush them, but I'm going as fast as I can, so we'll see. So also I see Steve Irwin in the chat. Steve, I appreciate you. I'm going to be seeing you next week. Vex, you said ping the Discord. That's actually a good idea. I forgot all about that. I always forget that, to be honest with you. Even like for chapter reactions, I always forget to do that. Let's see. Reacting to the latest One Piece anime episodes right now. Alright, there we go. Thank you, Vex. I appreciate you. Like I said, we're going to get started here very quickly because I do not want to take too long. Just want to give a chance for people to show up because we don't do a whole lot of anime reactions, so I know this is a little bit random. I think that will work. Alright, cool. That'll work. Thank you, Vex. Appreciate you. Mugen Shampoo, you said, good God, it's peak. By the way, I'm only halfway through, but this was a while ago, but I started watching Samurai Champloo. I just wanted to mention that, and I haven't finished it, but it was really good, and you just reminded me of that, so I need to go finish it. But yeah, these episodes are peak, and I'm kind of glad that I'm bunching all 3 of these together. I wanted to do these earlier because 1130 is individually peak, and I feel like 1131 and 1132, at least based off the manga, should kind of go together, so that made sense, but things got in the way, so now we're doing all 3, so we got a lot of peak to see here. Just Denny said, Dak, do you play Elden Ring or Night Rain? I do not. I played a little bit, or I've watched a lot of Elden Ring. I have not played it. I have not seen anything from Night Rain yet. I've been locked into Expedition 33 as well as the Switch 2. I've been playing Mario Kart World a lot. The open world thing in Mario Kart is surprisingly good. I was really surprised at how good the open world thing was in Mario, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, it was interesting. Kanu, what coincidence, I was thinking of Elden Ring. Yeah, I definitely want to play it. I got a lot of games to worry about. Still waiting on that Claire Obscure review. Lawsaw says, hey, I'll talk to King Recon. Maybe that's what I'll do this weekend, because I've been wanting to put something on Redacted, and I've just been dragging my feet. Guys, I've been working on the house a lot, and it's way harder to do home improvement than you think. Like, you watch the YouTube video and you're like, oh, that's not that hard, I should be able to do it. And then, you're fidgeting trying to get things to fit right, and then you have the wrong, like, type of, I don't even know, like screw or filler or whatever you're trying to do. And so I've just been working on the house, and it's been draining me. But we're back into video mode now, so I need to get some content out for sure. That's why we're doing this. And so speaking of that, let's go ahead and just start watching the episode. Well, yeah, I've got Mr. Bushido in the chat. So right after hold on, let me see what you say here. So, okay, so I just wanted to make sure this wasn't a manga specific thing because I don't want to. I don't know if any of you guys are anime only. And yeah, I think you guys know all this already. Yeah, any anime onlys would know this already. But Mr. Bushido came across something. Shanks is named after an Irish alcohol. So is Shamrock and Garling. Well, that's a little bit of a spoiler, but you won't. You guys will see. All 4 world bridges, this is the big things, are drinks the Garland family made. The 4 bridges, but why? Well, I heard a theory recently, and I'm trying to think of how to word this without being too spoilery, because you'll know what I'm saying. And I know most of you guys are manga readers anyway, so I'm just being extra protective here. But one theory that I heard is, you know the summoning circles that the Gorosei have been using? Well, what if the red line and all the bridges are supposed to make one giant pentagram symbol? Right? And I don't know. I got a lot of theories on what that could lead to that would be very spoilery. so I don't want to. I don't want to get. We can get into that after we watch the episodes. It's just worth the start, and I haven't even started watching. But I know this is where anime onlys would be. But I really like the idea that that's what the bridges are for. Like they started making all the different wolves, I guess, so that whenever the final war comes, they have a big pentagram circle for something. And if you're still here towards the end, we can get into those exact theories. But for now, I'm going to get into the episodes just so I don't spoil anyone too bad. Shout out to like the 40-ish people we have in here right now. Thank you guys for showing up. I know it's, like I said, a little bit of a different thing. But yeah, we gotta get into this. I'm going to go ahead and start watching because I want to see what these episodes got. I've seen a lot of screen grabs. I've seen a lot of discussion. Oh, I see the anime is not situated. I did flip it the other way just for a little extra precaution. All right, but we are going to start watching. Let me get the stopwatch. All right, we're going to get an episode anime 11:30 in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Quez Gamer, I'm new, just sub. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you. I'm curious, are you been watching for 2 days now? Are you into the manga or are you anime only? I just want to make sure, because now that the anime is getting really hype, I feel like there's a lot more anime onlys who are looking up theory videos, and I just don't want to spoil you. I always feel weird doing the anime reactions for that reason, but I appreciate you nonetheless, my man. Thank you. That seriously means a lot. We actually just crossed 90K subscribers last week, which is absolutely amazing. I genuinely can't thank you guys enough. And that means the next milestone is 100K. And I got some plans for 100K, guys. While we're watching the intro, I guess I'll tell you, we got a lot of giveaway stuff that I'm going to give you. I haven't decided how I'm going to do this as far as like if it's all going to be from a community post or if we're going to do a stream. I'm still deciding that. But I got a Laboon plush to give away. I got the Artur plush to give away. If you guys remember Artur's plush, it's basically the One Piece globe in plush form. I'm going to give one of those away. We got some One Piece TCG cards to give away. I've been saving a couple boxes. I got a box of Wings of the Captain as well as a box of Awakening of the New Era that I'm saving for 100K. I also got some Emperors in the New World to open. So, yeah, I'm pumped for 100K, y'all. Seriously. It's going to be fun. So thank you all for supporting, seriously. And Quez, thank you for being yet another new subscriber. It's crazy that the mole gang keeps growing. But Mr. Bushido, you said, but why named after alcohol? Bink sake is my answer, and we'll get into that more later because now the episode started. But that is a really good thought. All right, so it looks like we're here recapping some of the sadness. I think, who was it? Was it Nick earlier? The very first chat on the stream, Nick Olvento. You said something like, here for my scheduled sadness or something like that. Sorry if I'm butchering it. But yeah, that's how it feels. Every week's just a tearjerker. I hate that Celestial Dragon. I don't know who he is, but I hate that one in particular. Clap is such a goon. Like that's a character that probably won't get any more focus than he's already had. But you want to talk about a Chad character? That's Clap. Bedcrumb Show, you said Indiana in 5 for the NBA Finals. Who you got? I don't know about Indiana in 5, but I'm going with the Pacers. They're a team of destiny this year. OKC could turn it on and win. Like if the Pacers are going to win games, they're going to win by like 3 to 5 points. Like it's going to be a nail biter, but the Thunder could start winning by 20 plus every game. Like that's just kind of how their teams work. So the Thunder could win handily, but I'm going Pacers for sure. What's the poll say? 52% Pacers. That's awesome. Debus, you said, yo, what's good? Welcome, Debus. I appreciate you. Debus, why aren't you a mod? That's the real question. All right, so here's those Devil Fruit prizes. So, not to overly plug my stuff here, but I did do a video on this recently. There's the masked guy that might be from the House of Lambs. But I did that video recently about those prizes because I assume they're all Devil Fruits, and those are going to be incredibly important. You know, we still don't know what all of those are, so those are going to be a big deal. Oda's hiding the other 4 for a reason, for sure. New Poppy, my guy with the $100 super chat. Poppy indeed. Oh, dude, thank you so much. I haven't even read it yet, but just that's incredibly generous, dude. W's in the chat for my guy Poppy. Oh man, dude, thank you so much. I don't know if you remember me. I do remember you. But I was the guy who said, I don't remember this part you're talking about, but I remember your name for sure. But I was the guy who said chapter 1126 explains how Shanks gets his scar. I also solved the God Valley incident. It's only 2 minutes. I made it short and sweet. When you have time, could you please watch it and let me know when you've seen it? Dude, yeah, for sure. Hold on. Let me go over here real quick. Is it the last short that you posted? Hold on, okay, dope. Hold on. All right, I got it pulled up. I'll tell you what, Poppy. It's as soon as we finish these episodes, I'll literally pull it up here and watch it if you want. But I don't want to interrupt now. But as soon as we get done with these episodes, I'll watch it literally here and give you a reaction to it. I seriously appreciate that, dude. Dude, Poppy, dude. Thank you so much, man, for your generosity. Seriously, that seriously means a lot. I'm definitely gonna watch it. I see you got quite a few videos up, my guy. Let me go check this out. I'm like having one eye on each monitor. I love Ivankov, by the way. Oh, so I see you got 2 shorts here. How Shanks got his scar, and then the Greatest God Valley theory back to back. And all your other stuff looks like it's, what is that, Call of Duty or some shooter game? I can't tell. I am very unfamiliar. You also have this Blackbeard origin story theory. Very interesting, dude. So you just totally switched over into One Piece recently, which is dope. I also like your picture there. That's dope, dude. I'll watch that as soon as I get through this for sure. GDJ Ivankov top tier character. Agreed. For a lot of reasons, I agree. Char and Random J 13 games. Hello. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. Growth Stonks, it's good to be here. These episodes are great, dude. These are big time episodes. Like if you're an anime only and you're seeing this stuff and it's the first time you're getting this information, like you're just eating by default. Like this is top tier stuff. So I forgot that Garling, what'd they say, 10,000 points? I wonder how the points work. I forgot they actually gave a number to it. Bedcrumb, I hope Ivankov reveals Crocodile's secret. Same. I I mean, the fact that it's Ivankov really makes... Not that Kroko mom is legit, but the idea that Krok was once a girl, I feel like the fact it's Ivankov who knows the secret definitely boosts that agenda, for sure. I don't know why, but I love that Oda had Ginny with a missing tooth. Like, I don't know the reason, but I love that choice. I wish I had this anime clip for that video I did. This is awesome. Have you guys seen the memes with Ivankov with the Azure Dragon Fruit? I think those are hilarious. Steve Irwin, is there any references to other animes in One Piece? I want to say yes, but there's a lot of like paralleling, but I can't think of any direct connections off the top of my head. I mean, I know Oda's done a lot of like drawings outside the manga that tie to other anime. Like he's drawn, what was it? I can't remember. Was it Luffy in Dragon Ball style, or maybe it was reverse, where Toriyama drew Goku in Luffy style, or maybe they both did it. I can't remember, but I know Oda's given a lot of shout-outs to other anime and other mangaka and stuff, but I don't know if in the actual anime there are or not. Yeah, GDJ. Like, for SBS, Oda does that a lot. Oh yeah, Naruto references with the ninja, that's a good one. Sanji's name was gonna be Naruto, but then Oda changed it, probably because of Naruto, I would have to imagine. I can't remember if that's... Because it was so long ago, I can't remember the timing of it. Like, I don't know if Naruto was big when that all went down, but I know Sanji's name was originally supposed to be Naruto, so... But he changed it. Kishimoto was like, hey, can you not? Yeah, exactly. Alright, now we got rocks pulling up, man. See, this is what I've been waiting for. What little tidbits did Toei add in there that we can steal for some theory talk? So is that the Saber of Zebek is my first question. Because we know that's Blackbeard's ship now. And does he have Rox's ship? Which, not that that's going to get revealed here, but... Oh, and this has also been a big point of discussion. Gloriosa with the orange hair, which has led to a lot of Nami theories. Shout out my guy Crap Cafe for doing a theory on that even before this episode. Seeing young Kaido and Big Mom, oh dude, and Shiki and Captain John. This is so cool for me. Like, this kind of stuff really, really gets to me. Like, I'm just a sucker for the pirates in general. And, like, I've always wanted a movie about, like, show me how Whitebeard got all of his crewmates, or Rocks. Like, I love that whole thing. So this is awesome for me. So those two guys in the corner, I love that they did the same panel as the manga there with all the faces. Those two guys in the corner in the bottom left, those are the big mystery. I think the very bottom left is Wang Ji, and I think the one above him is Silver Axe. Now, the funny thing is that guy that's not all the way in the bottom corner, but right above, he was wearing gold during Thriller Bark, so if he's Silver Axe and he's wearing gold, that doesn't really make sense, but I think that's maybe what Oda's going for, where it's just like a funny random name that doesn't make sense or something. Because we know, I forget the exact number, but we know of 10 total Rocks pirates, and we had like 9 faces there, so those 9 plus Rocks makes 10, so I think all the names we know of align, so... In some form, those bottom two gotta be Wang Ji and Silver Axe. Man. Roger too, young Roger. Have you guys seen the debate with his mustache? How like he doesn't have the mustache there, but in the chapter we saw where they get baby Shanks, he does have the mustache, and then he also has the mustache on the flag. So it's like, did he shave before God Valley and then it grew during it? You know. Now we got Garp here. So that scene right there is really important because, like this, I don't think we really got all this info right here where we see everyone, like with Kuma and Ivankov, where they have all the chess. I don't think we quite saw that, right? Like, I know we saw them with the fruits, but like, I guess what I'm getting at is, I wonder if we're going to find out that Kuma and Ivankov know what the other fruits are, and that's how we find out. Like, maybe Kuma somehow tells us eventually. I don't know. Because we only see him see the two here, but the fact that they stole all the chests and walked away and had time makes me think they could have seen him, just like off screen, so I don't know. Kuma's got an arrow in his back, bro. This guy, Oda and Toei just make sure Kuma is suffering 24/7. And, you know, he's a tank. Like, obviously, it doesn't seem to be bothering him too much, but, like, still, man. He's been through enough. Hold on, I saw Vex mention Bogard. Who are we talking about now? Did somebody bring up Bogard? Oh, Jopesy. Bogard looking clean. Hey, man, he is looking clean, but that's all he ever does is look clean. That's my problem. I'm ready for Bogard to do a little something. Which, I mean, he trained Kobe, the GOAT, which is worthy of something. But then Kobe obviously graduated to the Battleship bags. So, you know, I'm ready for Bogard to do something. That's all. That's all. He does have a fresh fit, though. It's strange that some people are born to be important. See, Kuma, you're cooking right now. That focus on the pupil there was interesting, with some of the stuff we saw in the manga recently. It does make me think. Kuma, man. Bogard greater than Green Bull. JJ, hopefully Toei does what's right and adds Topman to the God Valley backstory. They're doing a good job so far. I've seen very little mustache action. No, Roger doesn't even have a mustache. Garp barely had any facial hair at all. They're doing a good job of keeping the mustaches out of there. Looking clean greater than looking east. Honestly, when the guy looking east isn't looking that clean, then I agree. Because, like, Dragon's just got the green cloak on, which, in a funny way, I feel like increases the odds of the wind fruit. Because remember in Logtown, they had the green wind come through. Like, I feel like wind is usually like clearish or blue or green, I feel like. So the fact we had that green and he has a green cloak and all that, I feel like the wind fruit is even higher, but are those butterflies on Ivankov's shirt? Is that what those are supposed to be? Or is that like a bow tie? I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Look how small Jinny is in relation to Kuma. I forgot about Ginny, you know, acting like since I'm older, I gotta do all this other stuff. Like, gone too soon, man. And so, isn't this right here where Kuma's carrying the wood? Isn't that like the legend he's based off of? And I mean, he's based off several different characters or legends, but isn't that? Because I think we had like a picture from like an SBS where Oda drew him like that. It told us what his story was going to be, or like a foreshadow. I can't remember exactly. Oh, also earlier, Vex, thank you for letting me know. Vex gifted 5 memberships earlier. My bad for missing that. Let me go find it. Thank you very much, Vex. Jesse Smalls, I'm Coach, Teddy TCG, Mike Matt, and John Sticks, I think. Everyone, welcome to the Afro Gang. Welcome, and Vex, thank you for messaging me. I'm sorry I forgot about that. There we go. The chat froze there, and I was like, well, hopefully it's just the chat. But yeah, you know, Firefox doesn't like YouTube chat. I've actually heard that the war between YouTube and Firefox is still ongoing. It's like it's like the war, it's like the Void Century War. It never ended. It's always going on in the background. JJ said, new Poppy, you were cooking. I can't wait to go check that out. Oh, dude. Ginny saying she's full. Dude, the way Toei just, oh my, hey, dude, in the transition to the family, to, oh, Toei, don't, no, don't, no. Oh, dude, that was like, and he's holding his parents' hands. That's Toei. That's too much, man. Toei, chill. That was too much. Oh, I can't even explain, like, the way that Ginny was like, I'm full, and starts crying, and then Kuma reflects back to his family. Oh, dude, that... And now we're back to this moment. Nah, bro. Nope. That's... See, this is... I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. This is like a happy moment, and I'm still sad, because, like, Toei had to remind us of the trauma that led to this. Oh, and just the way he's crying, the way that they drew it, like his mouth, I don't know why, but, bro. I don't even know what to say. It's kind of like from a few episodes ago, where, like, it was the one where Saturn showed up, and you know how, like, they show, like, they focus on the wine glass? Like, obviously it's a little bit of a different situation, but it's similar to this, where, like, they use kind of like a different situation as like a fulcrum for the whole scene. Like that wine glass made the whole scene feel way more like in depth, and like it made it just feel heavier, because like we could feel it building, you know what I mean? And here it reminds me of that a little bit, where it's like they didn't need to go back and show that trauma like they did and remind us of it. And it's just like the way they just can make the scene feel, I don't know. They're just adding stuff into these scenes that make it feel more compelling for me, and I don't know, man. I don't. Toei's cooking on all levels. I can't even believe it. There's so many little things they're doing that just make me I just love what they're doing. I don't know, everything. All right, we are on 11:31 now. Did I already pull it up? Oh, okay, cool. Oh, I gotta fix the stopwatch. Give me a second. Reset. I'm gonna give you a countdown. Guys, whenever I walked in this room, I had the air conditioner on, and it was like kind of cold, and I'm like, oh man, hopefully it's not too cold, you know, like, which is weird because it's really hot in Ohio right now. But now I'm starting to sweat, and I don't know if it's just because, you know, we're like, Toei's cooking that hard or what, but man, it's getting hot in here. But we're gonna keep going for sure. And also, if I look a little sunburnt, it's probably because I am, but that's what happens in the summertime. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Jopsy, tragic and beautiful at the same time. Exactly, like I said, Toei's just adding these little, I don't know, I keep using the word fulcrum, it's probably not the best one, but they're adding these little things that just build the scene up to be heavier than it originally was, and it's great. That scene with Jenny, like, saying she's full and then flashing back, that's like, it's like they didn't have to go back and do all that, but they did, and it made that happy moment feel so much heavier, you know what I mean? I don't know. GDJ, winter greater than summer. I agree. Now, spring and fall are both peak. But I agree, between summer and winter specifically, I'm picking winter. Now, if you live somewhere where it's like an okay summer, like it doesn't get that hot, or you have like a dry heat, because in Ohio it's usually pretty humid whenever it's hot. Yeah, that's not as bad, but humid and hot is like the worst. I know why Garling is so strong now. All that training to defend himself from hungry slaves that think he's a banana trying to get a bite to eat. That's sadly funny, where like I could honestly see Oda doing something like that, where they're so desperate, you know, they start like hallucinating like a mirage, like in the desert or something. As a guest, I'll take fall weather over anything else. Fall is objectively the best, I think. Like, it's hoodie weather, but not necessarily like hoodie and pants. Like, you can probably get away with just like hoodie and shorts, or maybe even like long sleeve shirt and pants. You know what I mean? Like, it's brisk but not cold. Fewer allergies compared to spring, so I agree. Eden's completely agree, Dak. I appreciate you, man. And I know, well, you live somewhere that's pretty hot, Eden, so I feel for you, man. I wouldn't be able to live where you live. All right, so here we got Kuma in the church, and y'all, this scene, when I read this in the manga, hit me so hard because it recontextualized Thriller Bark. Like, Thriller Bark with Zoro and everything in the pain bubble, that always was really heavy for a lot of reasons. But when we saw this in the manga, oh my god, it just, this is like the definition of that 5D Oda chess foreshadowing, you know what I mean? This is that stuff that, like, the nothing happened moment was already like a delivery. Like, it wasn't like necessarily a setup. Like, we were probably already happy Oda didn't have to add more onto it, but he did, and recontextualizing an already great scene to make it even better is like, I mean, that's why Oda's the GOAT right there. It's kind of cool how Jenny has to be the bad cop, you know, in the situation. Because, like, Kuma's way too nice to ever be the bad cop, and I just love that connection. GDJ, Kuma probably started respecting Zoro way more after this. Exactly. It, like, remember when Kuma was like, even this much is probably even enough to knock me out. I'm like, oh, okay. That meant a lot in the moment, because we're like, Kuma's really strong. For him to get knocked out by that amount of pain, that must be pretty serious. But now for us to see this, where he's been messing with the pain bubbles for a long time, that makes that line have 10 times the weight that it did before, right? Because he literally knows what that much pain feels like. He and it's not only that he knows because he's tried it once or twice, he did it regularly, as we're seeing right here. And it's just like, man. I don't know, this is why I got to do the Kuma video. This is why right here. That Thriller Bark scene is one of the things I really want to talk about. I've been thinking about this video for a long time, and I think the focus of the video is going to be like what we can all learn from Kuma. And it's going to go through basically that he's just a really selfless person, and that's kind of been the angle I've been thinking. But this pain stuff is like the perfect example of that. Like, Kuma is a completely selfless person. By the way, F this guy. If I drop all the F-bombs if I didn't have anything to worry about with YouTube monetization. F this guy right here. King Bakori. Look. That guy is the scum of the earth. We all hate the Celestial Dragons, and for good reason. But King Bakori, like, in some ways, he might be worse. Because, like, the Celestial Dragons are born into it, and it's kind of a nature versus nurture thing, which it's not okay. I'm not okaying it, but just from their perspective, I kind of get it. But he's not even a Celestial Dragon, and he's trying to act like one, doing the same horrible stuff. I'm like, you don't even have the excuse, bro. You're just a piece of shit from the very start, you know? Big Cheap, you said, and Fall has hollow weekends at Cedar Point. Bro, as a kid, I lived for hollow weekends at Cedar Point. Oh, man. I only went like a handful of times, but so much fun. All right, here we go. Bro, I've been waiting to see how they animate this. I've been waiting. What a Chad. Wow, bro. Dude's got blood just popping out of his head. Oh, we got the whole building erupting. Ginny outside crying, bro. And you see the bubbles slowly reducing. Oh my lordy. Again, like, Toei having Ginny cry outside during it is just one of those things that just sells that scene even more. Ugh. There's no other choice. The mass of pain and suffering won't just disappear until someone accepts it. If left untouched, it'd return to the person it came from. Super duper important. Most importantly, I feel delighted to see everyone happy, bro. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Kuma is a role model's role model. Like, I'll train harder and become stronger. Like, again, that's why whenever I do this Kuma video, it's all going to be about selflessness. Because that's literally his whole thing. Like, I don't know if Kuma has thought about himself for even like 2 seconds. Genuinely. Like, this man at every turn is like, how can I help someone else? I don't know. And seeing them eat dinner together after last episode. By the way, this ain't enough food for Kuma. We gotta be honest. There's no way Ginny and Kuma are splitting these sandwiches 50-50. And that's satiating my boy. We need to get Kuma at the buffet. Kuma, you want to go to Golden Corral, my guy? What about China Buffet? Wherever you want to go, man. I'll pick you up right now. Con, you said, I think Ginny was crying in the manga too. No, she was. But the way that the anime can, like, keep jumping back and forth, you know, like, because it reminds us of it, like, that's the kind of thing where the anime sells the scene way more than the manga. Because, like, if they show Ginny crying once, like, yes, we know that. But by just, you know, throwing it in there every couple seconds, it really just, it sells it that it's, like, all simultaneous, you know? Taylor Brooks, I'm literally driving by a Golden Corral right now. Taylor, go ahead and park in the parking lot. I'm going to go pick up Kuma, and we're going to treat that man to the meal he deserves. I don't know if Kuma, you know, is even alive anymore or whatever's going on with him, but I don't care. We're taking the man to Golden Corral. Vex gives more context when Kuma pulled Luffy's pain at Thriller Bark. He probably would have taken it on himself if not for Zoro, because I doubt he would have let Luffy die, knowing what we know now. That's really interesting. And then Kuma could maybe take the pain and use that as an excuse to the government, like, oh, I got really hurt or something, and maybe they wouldn't know. That's actually a really interesting take, Vex. I didn't think about that. Again, Kuma. This man, like I said, all he thinks about is everyone but himself. I've always really loved this moment with Dragon and Nika, actually, but particularly Dragon, because the way that, like, by Kuma feeling that way and looking at the paper and looking up to him, it gives us a glimpse into what the world thinks of Dragon. And so the world, maybe not in its entirety, because he's also made out to be a criminal, but in a lot of places, probably the most desolate and underserved places, Dragon is like a folk hero, right? Because he's the only one who's going around liberating them from, you know, what they're going through. And I love that little bit of context, because we obviously love to just rag on Dragon all the time for doing nothing. And for good reason. I mean, I get the, you know, the criticism, but that little bit there in the paper says a lot about Dragon's, you know, greater influence in the world outside of what we know, right? And so, I don't know, I just love that scene. GDJ, Buccaneers equal Mink X Giants, right? I don't think it's Mink. I think it's probably Human and Giants, although we don't know. It's definitely Giant. I'm curious why you think Mink, though. That's interesting. Do we know? I don't think we know any Mink Giant. Are you thinking because of the bear ears? I think those are just his hair, if that's what you're saying. I think that was... Well, I know it's confirmed because he didn't have the bear ears after... like, he didn't have them when he was younger and stuff. He only got it once he grew his hair out. Yeah, he said the bear ears. Yeah, those are just his hair, actually. He just styles it like bear ears. Yeah. He didn't have them when he was a kid. That was a theory for a long time, that his fruit is actually a zoned fruit and that it's like a bear, like a mythical bear-related thing. But those are just his hair. He just thinks it's cute, so he styles it that way. It is cute. To Kuma's credit, he's not wrong. Again, so throwing in these little flashbacks kills me, because it's also so recent, right? Like, for a lot of flashbacks, it's been a while, so I get why Toei, or in the case of the manga, even Oda does it sometimes, where he goes back and shows us the flashback a little bit to remind us. But this one's so fresh, and the way they keep splicing it in at certain times to remind us of his trauma just sells the scene. Also, I love seeing Kuma just pop off here. This is great. Oh, dude, whoa. Oh, he's really popping off. Quez, you said the bear ears are from his fruit, the pawpaw. They're not, because he ate his fruit when he was younger and he didn't get the bear ears right away. He only got them when he was older and grew his hair out because he styles it. I want to say Oda also touched on this in an SBS, or maybe a Beaver card or something. I can't remember, but they're not because of his fruit though. Now, if the ears popped out of nowhere once he ate his paw fruit, then yes, but they did not. He did not have them until he grew his hair. Matt Cypher, my guy. You said, hey, Dak, how's it going? Dude, it's going well. Better now that you're here. I mean, we're watching some One Piece episodes, so, all is good, especially these peak episodes. Although, you did say that right when Bakori was on my screen, so I guess it got a little worse there for a little bit, because Bakori can kick the bucket any time. Kanu said Ragan earlier with a W. I'm holding my dragon stocks. Okay, so right here, guys. This... I can't get over how evil that is right there. Where Bakori wants to sanction off the bottom part of Sorbet because that's where all the poor and the old people are, and if he makes that like a different country, then he doesn't have to pay the celestial tribute for them, and he's just going to leave them all to die and all that stuff. There are some very powerful real-world examples from history of leaders doing that, and in certain places, even in modern times, that's happening. Similar ideas, at least, where you're sanctioning off the costly people, quote unquote, the poor, the sick, whatever, the elderly. And it makes me so mad. That's of all the things Bakori did, that's what made me the most angry. There's that plan. Like taking over the country and throwing Kuma in jail, that's all wrong. Very much against that. But that plan right there, it makes my blood boil, I'm glad Kuma was here to take care of business, though. Bigsy Biggs, you said, you're goated. Goat Sake. Appreciate you, my man. Still waiting for the Usopp theory to be right. Which Usopp theory? Do you mean the paint one, or the nightmare, the conquering fear one? Because I've had a couple. But I'm hoping one of them comes true. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Even if none of my Usopp theories are true, I won't care, because if they're proven wrong, that means that we had Usopp focus, and that alone is enough for me. Because Usopp needs some focus, man. Like, he's an afterthought. That was very cool. That scene where we saw the back of Ivankov's hair and stuff. Seems like your favorite guy really created a scene. This is some cool extra context here, man. Because this was not in the manga, I believe, right? I'm pretty sure the manga just had them pull up, and then we got the scene where they're all together, right? So this is some extra stuff. Oh, the music kicked in at the right time, bro. This is why I have all the dragon stocks right here, guys. Dragon's definitely, he deserves some criticism. But my man Dragon, look, he's gonna show out eventually. He's gonna explain himself, and we're gonna get a moment just like this, where Dragon comes to the rescue someday, and it's just gonna be oodles of aura. Like, I'm talking metric tons of aura from Dragon when he pulls up. It's gonna be just like this, but in real time. Metric tons of aura. Raymond, you said, do you think Brooks' homeland got God Valleyed out of existence? I do, but I don't know if it got God Valleyed out of existence, but I do think it got taken over from a cleansing. Because I don't know if every island that gets cleansed like God Valley gets erased like God Valley. But I do. but I don't. But some people think Brooke is from God Valley. I don't, although that is possible technically, but I don't think that's the case. But if I'm wrong, it'd probably be hype. Just want to help people. Again, I know Dragon deserves criticism. I'm gonna keep saying it, but my man's got aura when he's on screen. He just ain't on screen that often. Like, I don't know what he's gonna do to save the day, like in the manga. But whatever Oda does to make him matter again, it's gonna be crazy. Kuma, the first thing he asks is anybody sick or hurt? My man. Always thinking about others, bro. Always. I feel like when this happened in the manga, that really set the community ablaze in a lot of ways, you know? Like the dragon slander, yes. The immense sadness for what Kuma has gone through. Like when that happened, bro, that really changed a lot, I feel like, for how we viewed Kuma's backstory and just how we felt about Egghead, I feel like. So I'm excited to see what they do next. I kind of like stacking these episodes up so I don't have to wait. Thalia, you said hi from the UK. Hey, welcome. Appreciate you sliding in. It's awesome to have viewers from everywhere. And I think the UK, I'm trying to think of my rankings. I think the UK is up there, but it's awesome to have you in here. I appreciate you, Thalia. Thank you very much. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. I think I always say it wrong, but pretty much every name I feel like I say wrong. PS3 Wii 360 Master 2 asks, did you end up getting a Switch 2? I feel like if anybody was going to ask me this, you are the perfect person given that username, so that's hilarious. But I did get the Switch 2. I did. I have it downstairs, and I've been playing Mario Kart World way too much, and I really like it. I haven't gotten any other games, so yeah, I can't say a whole lot beyond Mario Kart World, but I do like it. I got to change this to 1132. And I do want to place the Switch 2 on stream a little bit and get you guys into some Mario Kart World games. I think you guys, for those of you who have the Switch, I think you guys would enjoy that. I definitely want to play with some people instead of just playing computers. And honestly, like, I can get online and play people in Mario Kart, but like, I mean, I ain't that good, so I'm probably going to get trashed. So I think I'd rather just play on stream. So if I'm going to get trashed, let's at least have it be by you guys and not randoms, you know, where I'm sitting by myself. So we'll see. Or maybe I'm not that bad. I don't know. The missions and the open world part of Mario Kart World are definitely throwing me for a loop, but at least some of them. But all right, here we go. Got one more episode to watch. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Up. There we go. You said you're saying it wrong, but everyone gets it wrong, so don't worry, and I don't mind. I appreciate you. If you want to tell me, if you want to try explaining how to say it, I would love to try figuring it out. But if you don't mind, then I'll keep saying Thalia. Is it like Talia? Like, do I not say th, but is it like just a T sound? Or is it not even close to that? Is it like Talia? Maybe? I don't know. Oh, I also didn't go full screen. There we go. Connie said this one made me tear up. Let's see which one. So this one is where Kuma's gonna leave and go try to find her. Trying to think of where this one ends up at. No, this is where Ginny comes back, right? This is where he's with Dragon, and then she calls, and he leaves the ship, right? And then he goes back to go find her. Okay, that's right. Now I'm starting to remember the chapter a little bit better. Then what happens after? And then he just spends time with Bonnie, right? But I think I know where you teared up at, now that I remember the chapter a little bit. Matt Cypher, you said playing Claire Obscure. I really want you to try Helldivers 2. Yeah, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is definitely my game of the year. I still have to beat a lot of the side quest stuff, but I beat the main game. Top tier game. Genuinely, I don't say that a lot, because I'm not like super into video games, but I'm telling you right now, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is like all-time great game. So I'm almost done with that. I still need to get back on stream and play Black Myth Wukong, though, because that I never beat. I never got any further than the first stream. So. Don't say TH and you're good, but you said it right the second time. Well done. Also, I like content and theories. So is it Talia? Is that it? Is that what you mean by second time? I feel like I said a bunch, so I can't remember what the correct way was, but Talia, maybe? Vex, like D stream, join D Discord. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, this is dope. Whoa, Kuma rocketing in from the sky like that was wild. Like, I guess that's what the pawpaw fruit would look like. I guess I always kind of imagined it more horizontal because he, like, came straight down, but man. Seems like a celestial dragon had his eyes on her. This is such a dark plot line for One Piece, you know? Like, I think that's what really shocked a lot of us about this situation. Is like, we knew that the Celestial Dragons took slaves, but for Oda to have, you know, someone that we kind of cared about get taken like this and used, and then to, you know, eventually for them to have a child that we knew, it's like, it's very dark for One Piece, man. It really makes me wonder, you know, how dark it's going to get going forward, or how dark the Void Century really was, right? I always point to Dressrosa being one of the darkest situations in One Piece, where, like, from Doflamingo threatening Riku to the toy thing, like, it's just, that's, like, traumatizing to see. And I feel like the Void Century is going to be even worse than that, maybe even worse than this. I don't know how, but... Talia, you said yes, well done. I'm so glad I got it right. Thank you. Thank you for coaching me on how to say it. Where do you watch One Piece? Like the streaming platform? I feel like you're watching it on Crunchyroll. I am not, and that's because, and maybe it works, but I know I had Crunchyroll for a long time, and then they made it so you couldn't record the screen anymore, like it'd be black, and maybe there was like some way to get around it. But once they did that, I stopped using it, and I don't know, it might work for streaming. I don't know if it does or not. But I figured because it didn't work for screen recording, it might not work as well for streaming, so I'm using a different site for it. But Crunchyroll, if you're listening, if you stop doing that, I'd happily pay you guys money again, but, you know, I can't, if I can't use it, then it's, you know, for my purpose, then it's kind of useless. But I'm using a different website. I don't know if it's smart for me to tell you which website, but if you join the Discord, I'll definitely hook you up. Not to like force you to do it. I don't know if it's smart. Or if somebody else wants to post a link to a site in the chat, feel free. But I don't know. I don't know if the greater powers that be would come after me or not. Dude, that scene with Bonnie reaching up for like the sapphire. Kuma like standing in that hall, like that doorway where it's raining. That, I don't know, it just makes it feel so sad. Like that's all Kuma can think about is Ginny, you know? Man. I see where you teared up, Kanu. I see. I mean, I don't think we're there yet, but I can feel it. I can feel it coming. This is hitting really hard because all I can think about is Ginny was going through all this and still found the energy to sail a ship by herself to get Bonnie to Sorbet. Like, all this pain she's going through, definitely mentally, but physically as well, obviously. I don't know, man. It's like so powerful that Oda did this. I mean, it's like sad that they went through it, but for her to fight through it this way, and you know, and Ginny's just kind of hyping Kuma up about how kind he is and stuff, like, Ginny was a real one. That's all I gotta say about it. Ginny was arguably the realest one. Seeing my man just rocket through the sky like that. All my homies hate the world government. That's all I gotta say. All my homies. And if you're someone who doesn't hate the world government, you're not my homie. That's all there is to it, man. We're going back to that same crying thing where she said she was full. The timing of Bonnie's cry could not be sadder. You know what I mean? Like, they threw that in at the perfect moment. There's the thumbnail. Man. Like I said, all my homies hate the world government. I got nothing else to say other than that. I can't wait till Kuma finds the bastard that did that. Yeah, Quez, I agree. And you don't have to apologize for the language. In fact, if you're gonna apologize for the language, the only thing to apologize for is that we can't use stronger language because we're on YouTube. Because it definitely deserves stronger language. And when we find out exactly who her dad is, and I know there's a lot of theories about that right now, but when we find that out, public enemy number one, because the other public enemy number one, we got that taken care of. But the other public enemy, the one in regards to Bonnie here, we got to take care of that one too. J is a celestial dragon. His pappy is Saturn. It is in the name. It said it right there. Saint J. Garcia Saturn. So, you know. Winston, you said he doesn't hear her last words, and it was "I love you." Yeah, that's one of the saddest parts, right? Because he was like rushing out to go see her so bad that he missed that last part. And it honestly reminds me a little bit of Strong World. If you guys remember that movie where there's like that message that Nami leaves Luffy, but Luffy doesn't hear the whole thing. And it reminds me of that a little bit, except in this case, I don't think there's a way for Kuma to hear that. Now, I don't know if, for example, maybe Kuma could like push out some of Dragon's memory and get that "I love you" back so he could hear it. Like, I think that's a way to do it, maybe, and maybe that is what happens later. But yeah, it is really sad that he missed it. Baby Bonnie is for real the most adorable little bean. That's facts, dude. Wait. Okay, so hold on, I don't want to ask too many questions yet. I want to see how far this episode gets. Yeah, before I say anything, I'm going to see where this episode ends, because I don't want to spoil anything that might be in the next one. She kind of looks like Toko. She does, Kanu. Quez, you said, what made it worse is Kuma wanted to marry her so bad, but from what happened to his family, he didn't want it to happen to her, and now he didn't get a chance to marry her and make her happy. And I'm so glad you said that. By the way, this scene right here where Bonnie's in a cage because he doesn't want to crush Bonnie, that really hit in the manga for me. Like, that was just it's like another example of how much Kuma cares. Like, maybe it's just a bare necessity because he's so much bigger, but it's just like, I don't know. It's cute. But about what you're saying here with like the Ginny thing, it's another example of how Kuma is just completely selfless. And part of the analysis that I want to do, and I'm not ragging on him, but he is almost selfless to a fault in a way. And I think that's something that Oda wants us to take away from it. Like, yes, you should be selfless, and Kuma is a good guy for doing what he did. But sometimes you go a little too far where you're actually limiting people's happiness by being too selfless. And yeah, I don't know. That's a big point I'm going to make in that video. Yeah, like Vex said, there's a lot of theories about that. I think that is I think that's the running theory for Bonnie's dad for sure. For sure. If I was putting money on it, I would say that's the Vegas favorite by a wide margin. If you're getting on FanDuel or Bets 365, that's going to be like minus 1,000 or 2,000 on the betting odds. Here we go. Now we're getting into the Sapphire Scale stuff. Talia, well, have fun. Bye-bye now from the UK. Appreciate you for sliding in, seriously. And I don't know what time it is over there. I think it's like 7 or 8 p.m., right? Something like that. So thank you either way. Appreciate you. Hopefully I see you again. I don't know if you're a manga reader or not, because that's usually what we do, but we will be doing other anime reactions in the future, so hopefully we see you one way or another. Axe M, you said gonna go get some OP11 today. You got yours yet? I could not find any for a cheap price, so no, unfortunately. My LCS that I usually get cards from at a really good price, they were sold out really quickly of OP11. And the prices have dropped a lot on TCG Player. So I saw this. They censored the middle finger. So anybody who's anime only, she had the big old middle finger showing to these kids in the manga. Like, there was no doubt. I don't know why Toei felt the need to limit that. We just went through some really dark stuff, and of all the things to censor, I don't know if the middle finger is really, that strong. And I get in some cultures it's like a stronger signal than in others and stuff. I get it, but like, there's no way that is more dangerous than some of the other topics that Oda has just covered in the last couple episodes. So I don't know. That right there, Kuma being able to hype her up and say that they're jewels and, she should be, proud of them, essentially. Like, just Chad activity, man. I don't know what else to say. Vex, you said if they kept the middle finger, it wouldn't hit as hard to some audiences. But I feel like removing the middle finger makes it not hit as hard to some audiences. You know what I mean? Like, that would have hit harder for us, like in the US here at least, and Japan, I would assume, since Oda put it in the manga. And those are probably two of the biggest, well, definitely two of the biggest, audiences for One Piece. So, I mean, does it still hit? Do we still get that she's mad? Yes, but it would have been, I think it would have hit more here. So I don't know. Toei knows, how to balance that stuff, I suppose. So I'll leave it to them. Sunlight and moonlight, all kinds of natural light will cause the stone. And revisiting this after what we've seen in the manga, particularly the mural with the Forbidden Sun talk, that really makes me think about this a little more. That juxtaposition there with him getting that news and then Bonnie being all happy. And her overhearing the 10th birthday thing. They're doing such a good job of like with this scene right here. Oh yeah, I forgot the chapter ended this way too. Man, I don't know if you guys remember this, but whenever this chapter came out, remember how Oda like didn't finish it because it was like a bunch of rough drawings, like he didn't get his full finalized version done like he usually does. You can kind of see why, right? With all the sadness, like it really, now that we know everything and the anime's coming out, it really adds more to that situation. Like Oda was definitely crying over the pages drawing all this stuff. You know what I mean? Thinking about everything Kuma's going through. He was definitely struggling to create this in the first place. So Oda, I feel you, man. If there was any chapter to feel that way, it was definitely this one. That was our daily dose of sadness for today. We're not even done with the Kuma flashback. What do we have? We have, I think, 5 more episodes till the Kuma flashback's done. I think 4 or 5. So we got a little more sadness to come for sure. I said it before, but like having the camera on definitely increases my tolerance for crying. Like, you know, it's gonna be harder for me to cry when the camera's on, but this stuff definitely gets you pretty damn close, I'll say. I'm going to keep watching to see the preview here. And then after this, I'm going to go back and check out that theory that Nor talked about earlier. Oh, man. One Piece is in such a good place as far as like where the anime's at, and we got the live action coming. Which, did you guys see Chopper, by the way? Did we talk about that on stream? I don't know if we talked about that last stream or not. Oh, dude, this next episode's gonna hit because he goes to all the islands, dude. Is that man a devil or a saint? Talking about Vegapunk, I presume. Or Kuma. I don't even know what it could be either now that I think about it, because Kuma was called a tyrant and stuff, right? So maybe, I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. I guess it could be either, because Vegapunk is also a little bit of both. You know what I mean? All right. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for this next episode. We'll probably not do a reaction till we get a couple more to stack up. But oh, we're starting again. I don't want to start that. Either way, man. Toei, you're cooking. Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna chill for a little bit. We're gonna have a little bit of manga talk. I'm gonna change the text up here. So yeah, if you are anime only, don't stick around, because we might say some stuff that you don't want to hear. And actually, I can pretty much confirm that that's the case if you are not caught up on the manga. So please, do not let yourself get spoiled. And I won't be here too long, but I do want to talk about a few things. First, I want to check out that theory, or set of theories, I suppose, that new Poppy sent, I believe. Poppy, you still here? I want to make sure you're still here, because if you're not here, then I can do it another time. But if you're still here, I'll definitely do it now, for sure, because this is actually some very important information I feel like to talk about. But I want to make sure you're here. Axem, you said Elbath. Exactly. It's Elbath time, because, again, we don't have a chapter this week. But that doesn't mean we're going to stop talking about Elbath. I'm actually working on a really good theory regarding Elbath that I'm struggling with the script a little bit. This one's kind of hard because I feel like it's a little bit out of nowhere. And whenever I do these theories, like whenever I talk about a chapter, it's kind of easy to script that, because I know what you guys are kind of looking for. Whenever it's like an out of nowhere theory, you know, that's way harder than like a Pluton theory, because I'm like, well, everyone kind of gets Pluton. Everyone's wondering what it is. But whenever it's something out of the blue, that's always really hard to script. So I'm still working on it, but I think you guys will like it. But let's see. Oh, Poppy, you said you're still here. Awesome. All right, yeah, let's check this out. So it's your last 2 shorts, right? Because I see you said how Shanks got his scar. Oh, hold on 1 second. Wait a second. Hold on. Oh, yeah, okay, there we go. There's 2 of them. Got it. Yeah, Vex, thank you for plugging him. I'm going to watch the first one first. Hold on. I'm going to see. Let me let me pull it up. Just give me a second here. I got like a million tabs open. Literally, like, okay, you know what? We're gonna merge a couple tabs because this is too much. There we go. Okay, that's much better. I'm tweaking. This is so hard. All right, there we go. There we go. Window capture. There we go. All right, everyone. This is new Poppy. Am I saying your name right? New Poppy. I don't know how else I would say it, so I assume. But you guys know I like to make sure I'm saying things right. Here, let's see if I can. Can I get over here? All right, that's not bad. I've never. This is actually my first time doing like a theory reaction live, Poppy. So hopefully I do you some justice. I have never actually watched a video live, and done this. So this. First time for everything. I actually want to do a series like this on Redacted where I get your guys' theories. I don't know if I'll do videos, but I want to do ones where like I get either YouTube comments, Reddit threads, maybe Discord theories, whatever. And I kind of want to do something like this where I just have the theory here and I'm doing basic live reaction. And again, I know typical reaction content can be like, some people feel bad or whatever about it. So I don't know. No Poppy, you said is how you say it. Okay, cool. Or new Poppy. Wait, you said correct. Hold on, you said correct earlier, and then no Poppy. Is it no Poppy? I'll say no Poppy until I'm otherwise corrected. I think that's it. But yeah, I kind of want to do more stuff like this. So Poppy, hope you're. I assume you're okay with me showing. If you don't want me to, I definitely won't, and I'll just watch it separately. But I feel like this is a good way to get some love here, so we'll see. Let's give it a like real quick. Vex, I see you talking about Opera GX. I have been thinking about that. I've been thinking about getting a different browser because Firefox is probably going to lose the war to Google, I feel like. So, all right, let's GDJ. I'll answer that question as soon as I I watch these, because I actually want to answer that a lot. I got a lot of thoughts on what you just said, but
Shanks versus Blackbeard. I'm going to explain how this fight went down and show the evidence how I got this information. So in this fight, I'm assuming Shanks caught Blackbeard doing something really bad. I don't know how the fight started. I just know the events and how it ends. Okay, so in this fight, Shanks beats Blackbeard, has him checkmated with his sword on his neck, ready to finish.
I just gotta say real quick, I love how, like, it's funny how simple the short is as far as the editing goes, because it's just the anime, like, clip in the middle. But I like how you're lining up what you're saying with the anime clip. I think that's pretty funny, because, like, you said Shanks has Blackbeard checkmated with sword on his neck, and here you got Whitebeard, like, pinning down Blackbeard. I like that combo, but...
Come on. But before he does, Teach and his sisters start pleading for their life and explains their story to Shanks. Shanks hears this story, which explains how Luffy also gets this story in Drum Island. Then after hearing the story, Shanks starts feeling bad for Blackbeard and lowers his sword. Blackbeard sees this, takes the advantage, scars Shanks, and gets away. Shanks, still feeling bad for Blackbeard, decides not to chase him down.
I'm gonna go back real quick, hold on.
Shanks hears this story, Teach and his made it with his sword on his neck, ready to finish him off. But before he does, Teach and his sisters start pleading for their life and explains their story to Shanks. Shanks hears this story, which explains how Luffy also gets this story in Drum Island. Then after hearing the story, Shanks starts feeling bad for Blackbeard and lowers his sword.
So you're saying, I'm definitely gonna finish it, but it seems like you're saying that Blackbeard, kind of mentally got to him a little bit, where, like, started making him feel bad, so he was, like, kind of off guard. And the reason I bring that up is, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. It might take a couple searches here. I know I have it on my computer somewhere. Is it this one? Hold on. I got so many Shanks panels. Oh, here we go. Here's my again, I'm going to listen to the rest regardless, but here's my little bit of initial pushback, or maybe not even pushback, but I would like you to, and maybe you do explain it, but one sec, if I can. It takes way longer to bring things into Streamlabs than I think sometimes. Why is this not? Oh, there we go. Okay. So here, I guess I'll blow it up. I'll block myself for a second, but like to the right, this is Shanks talking to Whitebeard on the right, and he says, and it's not like I was careless or anything. And so that's always made me think that it's not going to be a situation where he got caught off guard, or he wasn't paying attention, or he got like mentally confused or something like that. And so I don't know, maybe you build on that here in a second, but that's always been one of my big like building blocks for the Shanks Scar theory.
Blackbeard sees this, takes the advantage, scars Shanks, and gets away. Shanks, still feeling bad for Blackbeard, decides not to chase him down. Keyword chase. Okay, to find out how this fight went down, we need to find out when Shanks gets this scar. So Shanks did not get the scar from the Roger and Whitebeard brawl. He did not have a scar while fighting Mihawk, but we get it in Chapter 0, Episode 0, when Shanks recruits my favorite character's father, Yasop.
Usopp's your favorite character? Hey, good pick. Great choice, man. Seriously, that's my... I don't count Luffy in my rankings, but that's my second favorite Straw Hat, for sure.
When Shanks recruits Yasop, he hides the scar.
Unless you count Laboon as a Straw Hat, which, if you do, that's fair. But I lump him in with Brody.
Wow. So I believe this is him. So if we go back to chapter 1126, where Yasop finally does something in the story, in which Shanks confronts Barto, we can find out how the Shanks and Blackbeard fight went down. So in the first panel, we have Barto pleading for his life to Shanks, with 3 dialogue boxes. We also see Shanks looking very uneasy.
I'm gonna... Hold on, I just want to pull this chapter up, just so I can see it a little bit better, so I can read it, because I actually like... I think I know where you're gonna go with this, and I kind of like it. I just want to make sure I can read it while I'm doing this. This is actually a really good thought. And I do remember you... Oh, I assume it's you now. I do remember somebody bringing this up. It must have been you. And so I'm glad you're explaining... Or I mean, it was in a video, but you brought it to my attention.
When Barto does this, people think Shanks is acting intimidating. But Shanks already has Barto checkmated, so why doesn't he act intimidating for him? I believe this reminds him of Blackbeard. In the next panel, Shanks tests Barto's loyalty by giving him poison to give to Luffy. Barto instantly drinks the poison and praises Luffy and says Luffy shouldn't pay for his crimes. Now, in the next panel, we have Shanks still looking uneasy. Wow, even though Barto still passes his test, Shanks still looks unhappy. So I believe Shanks still looks unhappy because he realized Barto is a good person and he cannot punish him, just like Blackbeard.
Okay, so you're saying that there was probably a similar situation to this, where Shanks had Blackbeard dead to rights, and where Barto did the honorable thing, Blackbeard may have done the dishonorable thing, or the dishonorable, whatever the right prefix is. And that's actually interesting the more I think about it, because you also got to think, like, Barto being like Luffy's biggest fan, you could almost view this as like where Blackbeard and Luffy are two sides of the same coin. You could kind of view it that way, where like Barto is almost a stand-in for Luffy in this situation, if that makes sense in some way, right? So that's interesting to think about it that way. Now, going back to what I said, and I know that you got more to the theory here, but going back to what I said with how Shanks said he wasn't careless or anything, I'm trying to think of how to meld it, because I don't know if it would necessarily be that, you know, Blackbeard just was in a situation like this but stood up and was able to scar Shanks, or if there's more to it. Like I can't really think of an example off the top of my head, but... Or, you know, I also think, you know how Luffy, like, died before he went into Gear 5th? I also think that there's a chance where maybe Shanks did this and actually killed Blackbeard, quote-unquote, but maybe he has a special zone that we don't know about, and it awakened in that moment, and that's how this all happened, or something like that. But I like the parallel that you're going with here, because we haven't really seen Shanks, like, I guess, well, I guess Kid is an example, but we haven't seen Shanks really like beat up on a lot of people or like have the chance to kill people, I guess. Like, you know, we have the Green Bull example at the end of Wano, and then Kid, but those were like pretty like sudden one-off things. Like it wasn't like an actual discussion. Like we didn't really get to see Shanks, I guess other than chapter 1, we didn't really get to see Shanks like think about, you know, killing somebody or how he kind of goes about, you know, giving people the retribution, the consequences that they deserve. So it's kind of interesting now that you pointed this out, the more I think about it.
So in the next scene, we have Shanks smiling, thinking about Luffy. Then Yasop, known as Chaser, comes in, shoots down the Grand Fleet while they was getting away. Now, on the very next page, we get Blackbeard pointing a gun at Bizarro's head, while Bizarro pleads to Blackbeard with $3 boxes. I believe these events mirror what happens with Shanks versus Blackbeard. Okay, so who's going to tell us Blackbeard's origin story? So I believe Ms. Okay.
Okay, and I see you got the video link to the bigger sister theory. Now let me see. Do I go up to get to?
Okay,
Okay, so this is the one, right? The Greatest God Valley theory by the guy Oda hates. That's hilarious. Shanks was too soft to Blackbeard because his backstory was sad. You see, the thing with that is that since Shanks said he wasn't being careless, I don't know if it can just be that Shanks, you know, like was in that same exact situation and then like dropped his guard and then got scarred. I feel like by Oda throwing that line in there with Whitebeard, I think it's telling us that it wasn't like a cheap shot, like it was a very serious thing. Now but at the same time, does that have to mean that Shanks got like overpowered by Blackbeard? I don't think that necessarily. So I do think there's like a middle ground where like Shanks getting surprised, you know, could work, but I think it would have to be from a more like Blackbeard had a transformation that he didn't know about, a special power he didn't know about, you know, something that was genuinely unexpected. Because then even if you have your guard up, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's that random. I guess the other thing that it could be is if Blackbeard's backstory, like, not that it was just sad, but maybe it ties to something Shanks knew about. I'm trying to think. Well, is this tied to the Shanks theory? Because I guess I don't want to go on to a totally different tangent while we're still talking about that. But man, I can't even sleep. My life is so shit. Yeah, Kanu, that would honestly for me, that's if I couldn't sleep, that's what I'd be saying. I love getting my minimum 8 hours, sometimes more, unfortunately. And you also said Kanu teaching his sister, huh? Interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. I'm curious what your take is on it, because I've heard theories about... I can't remember... Because Oda drew Blackbeard's sister and mom or something, right? Or like the prototypes for them, if I remember correctly. So like Oda has told us that Blackbeard had a family or was supposed to. I can't remember exactly. So I am interested in what your theory is on that, because I think people have also said that Blackbeard's like absorbed his family or, you know, something like that. But... All right, we're going to check out this one real quick.
Play what actually happens at God Valley, not clickbaiting at all. Okay, to find this out, we got to find out what causes this incident. So in chapter 1095, Kong tells Garp that the treasure from Real quick. Not clickbaiting at all. Okay, to find this out, we got to find out what causes this incident.
The light above your head was distracting me, but no, I feel it. That's the green screen nonsense.
So what is this treasure? Okay, so we get in here in chapter 1144. Okay, to find this out, we gotta find out what causes this incident. So in chapter 1095, Kong tells Garp that the treasure from Barn Island is causing this incident. So what is this treasure? Okay, so we get in here in chapter 1145, and Loki's flashback. Loki asks Rox if he could join his crew. Rox responds and says, he didn't come here to meet wimps like you. So why did Rox come to Elbaf? I believe he came to Elbaf for Harold's family treasure, the Destroyer's son got through. Okay, Rox steals his treasure, takes it back to Pirate Island, then it gets taken by the world government. How? So I believe Rox get betrayed by one of his crewmates. I believe it's this guy right here.
I agree with this. As far as Loki's devil fruit, I think that's really interesting. I think and again, this isn't necessarily pushback, but just something to think about, is the way that it was talked about where Loki ate the fruit. I think it's like a little ambiguous as to whether Harold had maybe eaten it beforehand. Like if Loki had to kill Harold to get the fruit. I don't like, that's not directly implied, but I think it's kind of ambiguous where it's just like he killed his dad and then ate the fruit. And so people have kind of wondered, oh, did Harold eat it and that's why he had to kill him to get it? Or did he kill him because Harold was just protecting it? Like, what's the connection there? And I think that's important just because if Harold did eat it, that might make it harder for it to be at God Valley. But if he didn't, then I could definitely see what you're saying. I think what you're saying is pretty good. And this part that you're talking about right now, where this guy is a traitor, completely agree with that, 100%. I did a video on that a while ago. That was before Loki's fruit, so it was different than what you're about to say. But I said the same thing. I think that guy looks. I think that guy's Wang Ji. He led Pirate Island after, after rocks fell. So you got to wonder, why does he get Pirate Island and nobody else? And how did they go in and steal the treasure? It might all be connected. Like, he leaked the information to the government. The government, took the fruits because of that and let him have Pirate Island and left him alone as like a reward for doing that. I'm going to finish this real quick before I respond to what else she said.
Okay, Rox and Harold hears Jenny's broadcast saying that the grand prize is the Destroyer's Sungar fruit of this event. Okay, I'm assuming Garland won this prize because Shanks was found in a chest, so Garland won some type of prize. Okay, Rox gets the fruit back, then eats it. In desperation, or not knowing the rules of the fruit, and he becomes a forced awakened zone like the jello beast that impaled down. And this causes Roger and Garp to team up against Rox. By doing this, they're helping the Celestial Dragons escape the island, and it also explains how God Valley disappeared because the Mother Flame was not created yet. Okay, now I'm going to show evidence why I think he ate this fruit and was a forced awakened zone. So in this panel, the Marine says the Rocks Pirates is east of his island. Then it goes to his flag. So I believe there's a hint from Oda. So if you compare this to Luffy, the flag looks just like Luffy's hair. My fault. Then where's Luffy's from? The East Blue.
And I don't know if you're about to say this, but I just want to throw something in there to just add a little bit of juice. If I can find the picture, hold on. Yep, I got the picture. Here you go. Little bit of a boost. Oh, well, maybe it doesn't want to go in. There we go. Also, Afro Luffy's chest tattoo. See how the tattoo had like the skull on fire, and now we also see Rox's symbol is also a skull on fire, and I've always thought there's definitely a connection there. And the fact that we saw this tattoo when Luffy was Afro Luffy, and then obviously in Gear 5 his hair turns into like a flaming version, I think that was also a foreshadow, so I think it all kind of merges together a little bit. Not that Rox had the Nika fruit, to be clear. I don't think that's the case, but like you're saying, it could be that he had some awakening or something that also put himself on fire. So I like what you're saying there for sure.
Okay, my second key evidence is the fight against Kaido.
Yeah, and Rui Casa, you said such a majestic mustache, bro. I agree. Yeah, Poppy, you definitely like. Not that there was anything necessarily like very wrong with the other one, but this style I feel like is a W style right here. You got a unique look for sure. I think like that mustache is gonna carry you. I mean, you look at Rox and Whitebeard, the mustache carried them, so you know to believe in it. But also having like the face in front of the content, you know what I mean? And then like you're talking, and then whenever you get to the content, then you kind of duck away. I think that's like a really attractive style. So that's a good. I think that's a good format.
Kaido and Luffy. So when Kaido first thinks he kills Luffy, he says, "You couldn't become Joy Boy either." Okay, so when Luffy finally awakens, he says, "Who are you? Are you still Straw Hat?" Luffy was confused, but Kaido was serious, not knowing this was Luffy or Nika he was talking to. And he probably said the same question to Rox too. Okay,
and another thought I just had based off what you said, because the idea that it's the same fruit that Rox had is really interesting. And I mean, that it's the same fruit that Loki had. Rox had the same one that Loki has now. Whatever. That, not good English there. But that I like that idea. But even if it's not that and it's just another zone, I think pretty much everything you're saying fits. And I just say that because I think that makes the theory more likely. You know what I mean? That you have even more options, like. Because whether it's whatever fruit, I think everything you're saying is actually a really good idea, because with that Kaido line where like you can't be Joy Boy either, that's like, we saw with Luffy that he didn't go into Gear 5th until he died. Like he didn't become Joy Boy until he died, quote unquote, right? Like his heart stopped for a little bit. And so that's always led me to believe that maybe to awaken a zone, you have to die first. And so going back to what you're saying with Rox, maybe he did eat that zone, or maybe he's like Kaido where he's always had a zone and he just didn't ever get pushed far enough to die, so that at God Valley when he was fighting Rocks or fighting Roger and Garp, maybe he did get pushed far enough to die, which would be a great parallel to Kaido, right? Because Kaido might have the same situation where maybe the reason he was trying to off himself so much was because he wanted to awaken and nobody was strong enough to push him that far, and maybe he knew from Rocks that you have to die for this to happen, and so it's kind of like Kaido was going through the same situation that Rocks went through, where, you know, he was too tough to awaken. And so Rocks may have not awakened until God Valley because he didn't die or get pushed far enough or close enough to death, even if you don't actually die, whatever it is. So I really like the idea that you're painting here. Like I said, whether it's Loki's fruit or just another zone, the whole idea still works. So I really like it. So let's see what else you got to say.
Government or Garling retrieves the fruit back. Harold wanted his fruit back, makes a deal with the government. He promised him the greatest army the world has ever seen because, look, he is the greatest king Elbaf ever had, and Elbaf is known as Warland. To prove his loyalty, they ripped off his horns. Harold, already ashamed, would not have his warriors or country fight for the world government. So he tricks Elbaf into a peaceful country. And also, look at Harold. He is pissed. You can tell he's mad. Okay, so to finish this off, so I believe King Harold sacrificed himself to Loki so Loki could awaken the Destroyer Sun God Devil Fruit. When this theory comes true, I need you to come back and comment flowers under my post. And also, I solved how Shanks gets his scar on my page and Blackbeard's origin as well on my YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna explain.
I like that you said the flower thing, because that's what I always say too. Like, whenever you get the theory right, you get all the flowers. You know what I mean? So yeah, Poppy, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I like that idea a lot. Like that Rocks had a zone fruit, and that event, through one way or another, caused an awakening, and maybe he couldn't control it. I think that's really, really cool, actually. Because, like all the stuff you said and I said during that reaction aside, you got to think about it from the angle of, you know, Oda's building something with this awakened zone control issue, right? Like, we've seen from the Jailer Beast what an awakened zone that's not controlled can do, and we've seen with Lucci, Luffy, Kaku, and stuff that we can see, like, we've seen what awakened zones that are controlled can do. But we haven't seen a situation where somebody really powerful, because, I mean, the Jailer Beasts were kind of powerful, but let's be honest, they're also kind of mid. We haven't seen someone who's actually strong lose control yet, right? And I think that has to happen at some point. I don't think Oda's going to go the whole story without someone exceedingly strong losing control, so we can see just how bad it is when that happens. And Rocks would be the perfect person. And if it was so bad that God Valley got erased, maybe not even because the government wanted it to get erased, but maybe Rocks just in his rampage just blew it up somehow and then fell in the water and that's how he died or something. I think that's actually pretty compelling. So I'm with this one, dude. I'm with that. And like I said, it could be Loki's fruit, and I think that would be really fun. But even if it's not, it still carries, which I think that's always like the hallmark of like a really strong theory, is that, you know, whenever you have like one strict train of thought that everything has to stick to for a theory, that makes it really hard to believe, because it's just like, oh, every single thing has to fall in this order. But with this theory you just said, there's like a lot of different ways that like the point you're saying could come true, and that's, like I said, that's where you get a really good theory from. So, bro, I think you're cooking with this one for sure. And even the Shanks Scar one, like I said, with the part where he said, you know, he was taking it serious and like, or he didn't get caught off guard. I don't know what the official Japanese says, so whatever I showed, that was probably just some random translation. I don't know if it was the official. So whatever he actually says would matter, but, you know, for that one, even then, I still think you could be onto something, like, just in general, where it recreates the Barto situation. I think that's another thing, like I'm saying, where, like, even if it's not exactly what you said, that part of it, I definitely think you're onto something. Because you also got to think about it in terms of, like, the timing of the story. Because Shanks is, like, going places now, right? Like, that Barto situation, like, we saw that after the kids stuff, and so it's like we're kind of wondering what Shanks is doing or where he's going right now. And so and I feel like the Blackbeard fight could be on the horizon very soon, to be honest with you. And so the way that kind of merges together, where like, Oda, in this final saga moment, he showed a situation where Shanks could have killed somebody. I think that could definitely be a callback to the Blackbeard thing. And also another thing I thought of that parallels this in a weird way is Impel Down. Remember Shiryu found Blackbeard like dead to rights because of poison, but then gave him the antidote? It's like it's the flip of what this Barto situation is in a lot of ways. So, and the fact that Blackbeard was tied to that does make me think that maybe Shanks and Blackbeard were in a similar situation. Blackbeard's, is dead to rights. Shanks is debating what to do with him, and somehow that flipped into Blackbeard's favor. So I think you're cooking, dude. Seriously, that's awesome. So you really got me thinking about God Valley now too. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what animal it would be. Because, like, if it's Loki's fruit, that would be a really cool plot line where, like, Loki or Rox awakened it, but he wasn't the right will for it. And then Loki somehow was able to take that lesson and be like, well, I am the right will for it. Like, that he's going to almost surpass Rox, or Rox wasn't the chosen one. Like, there's a little bit of a plot line there. See, this, to me, this is when theories are good, is when, like I said, it's not one strict train of thought, but it's like, oh, I never thought about that point that way. Here's like a million other ideas that could tie to that. Like, that's when you have a really good theory. So yeah, Poppy, I think you're cooking. Brandon King in the chat, keep up the pace, Pacers. Hey, go Pacers, man. Go. I'm rooting for them. I would love to go to a game. I was fully planning on going to a finals game if the Cavs made it. I had the money set aside, and it didn't happen, so we're gonna have to push that to next year. But we're rooting for the Pacers. I got my friend coming over tonight. We're gonna be watching that game for sure. Gonna be rooting for Indiana. And I'm curious, Brandon King, because I don't know very many Pacers fans, but like, how do you feel about Halliburton's nickname being the Halliban? Because I don't know how I feel. That's the one that the community has run with. I don't know if the Halliban is a good idea, but that's what they ran with. The other ones, Hallie's obviously easy. I don't know, but yeah, Poppy. Again, thank you for the super chat, by the way, but thank you for the good theories, dude. Like, you should do a full video on what you just did here with this God Valley thing, but make it like, I don't know how to word this in a quick way, but like, make it kind of like what I'm saying, where it's like if you do the theory in a way where you're like, well, what fruit could it be? Like, what zone would Rox have had? And like, it gives people a chance to kind of comment about what fruit they think it could be, or because like, if you just say it's this specific one, like, you could definitely say I think it's this, but if you phrase the whole video in a way of where you're kind of getting people's opinions, like, could it be this one, or what about this? Like, that lets you make the video longer, by the way. Little pro tip if you want to lengthen the video, which I know that's more editing, but that also helps in the algorithm to have a longer video. But if you go through several options, it also lets people comment their option that they prefer, or ones you didn't mention, and that also helps with the algorithms, or just like a little advice there. But I would do a full video on this, dude. I think that's a really good thought. Brandon King, that is a weird choice. IMO, yeah, I agree. I'm not a huge fan of the Halliban. I'm gonna be honest. I think that is a marketing nightmare in every possible way. So I don't know if that's a good plan. Kanu, you said, I'm really into this idea now because it explains why Kaido didn't awaken. Exactly. And if you're someone listening, which I know we don't have a ton of people here at this point because we're past the... Anybody clicking this stream at this point is clicking it and seeing manga talk and probably leaving because they know that we're done. So I get why there's not many people. But I agree with you. Like, that whole Kaido awakening thing. Like, because I think with Loki, we often think of like that connection with Rox. Like, he obviously looked up to Rox. Like, it seems like Rox was Loki's Shanks in a way. But the same thing probably exists for Kaido. And Kaido and Loki might have the same dad, by the way. We got to throw that out there. I think that's a definite possibility. In fact, I would probably bet money on it if we had the One Piece Vegas odds. But the fact that Kaido looks like Harold at a bare minimum and had this whole Zone Awakening situation, and now we're here with Loki where he has a legendary fruit and all that, it would kind of make sense that Oda's building a little bit of a system here with the, they looked up to Rocks and maybe, he failed in a certain way that they're trying to surpass him in. I think that's the message. So that's a great idea, seriously. Axe M, you said I missed something about Kaido Awakening. Can you re-explain? I'm trying to think of how to explain this because I don't know what you don't know. I don't know if you saw what we were just talking about. No Poppy just had a theory that more or less said that Rocks awakened but didn't control a zone fruit during God Valley, and that's why maybe it got erased, and that maybe that's why everyone had to work together to stop Rocks, as he was rampaging as a failed awakened zone during God Valley, which I love that idea. And then tying to the Kaido Awakening thing, we're talking about how you need to get pushed near death or maybe even die to awaken a fruit. And since Kaido is so tough, remember, he tried to off himself a bunch of times. He had an obsession with dying, right? Whenever we were introduced to him, he was jumping off Balloon Terminal. And what if all of that was because he wanted to awaken his fruit, but nobody was ever strong enough to push him to the point where he could awaken? And so tying this all together, it might mean just that, like I said, Kaido's trying to almost surpass Rocks in a way where Rocks failed to awaken, couldn't control it, maybe didn't have the right will. I don't know what the exact reasoning is behind that, but that might be Kaido's mission now. That's why he was looking for Joy Boy, why he said, he's only going to lose, or we'll find Joy Boy when he's defeated. I forget exactly what he said, but all that stuff is basically him saying, I can't awaken until Joy Boy shows up because I'm too tough. And maybe Rocks had a similar thing where it's not Joy Boy, but maybe Roger and Garp and everybody teaming up maybe equaled that level of strength. I don't know. Winston, Dak, what do you think is the One Piece Vegas odds for Loki Elbaf flashback, and how many chapters? So, how many chapters away are we from the flashback, or how many chapters will the flashback be? I guess I can answer both. As far as how many until the flashback starts, the Vegas odds are probably 5.5 or something like that. And it's not that I think it's going to happen in 5. I just think for the Vegas odds, I almost think the Vegas odds are going to perpetually be 5.5 until it happens, because it doesn't feel like we're one chapter away, but with the way Loki's been focused on, it feels like it could be in a few chapters at any point. Maybe they go up and start, fighting all the demons and stuff, and maybe somehow Loki's oh, that reminds me of this one time, and that's how it gets into it. Oda could start this at any moment, so I'd say 5, although that's not a good answer. As far as how long it'll be, I think the Loki flashback could be 5.5 also. It might be really long, like the Odin flashback, which I could see. I could also see him doing it in parts, where we get like one chapter here, one chapter there, and he splits it up, so I'm not really sure. Axe M should have fought Vista. That's so true. That is so true. That would have solved everything. Also, Axe M, I've been meaning to talk to you, my guy, because I just remembered this. Axe M, you won TCG cards a few giveaways ago, and I tried tagging you to get your address, and you did not send it to me. So I'm sorry to call you out, although there's only 30 people here, so it's not as bad. But I need your address, dude. I gotta send you these cards. You were the mysterious winner who did not send me their address last time, so I need that at some point. GDJ. I'm all mixed up on the English today. So about the ending, I'm glad you brought this up again. I think there's three ways it could end: Luffy dying, Luffy rewriting the universe, Fire Force, or Gurren Lagann ending. So I've seen Gurren Lagann, and I'm not gonna lie, I remember the ending generally speaking, like the space stuff. You know, I remember all that. The spiral, all that kind of stuff. I don't really remember like the specifics though, so I can't really speak to that. Even though I love that series, and maybe I have to go rewatch it now. But so I can't really speak on that one. But as far as Luffy dying, I think Luffy dying is unlikely. Like, because it could be a thing where Luffy sacrifices himself to save everybody, and I think that is a potential option. But I think for Oda's sake, like if he's gonna end the story, I think it might just be better to keep Luffy alive. Like I don't know if it's for marketing reasons or just people like happy endings or what, but I feel like it's more likely he's gonna keep Luffy alive. I could see a world where Luffy like loses his powers maybe, and he's got to live as a normal person after that. Like maybe what this becomes is like all of the devil fruit powers get erased or something, and I don't know, something like that. So I could see. And what else did you say? Luffy rewrites the universe. Rewriting the universe. Trying to think of how that might work, because I'm also thinking about like the mural and how that could tie into it. Because you think about Usopp and like how he kind of tells the future, and it's like, is there a way that all ties together in some way, where Luffy and Usopp have some sort of like, I don't know, like Usopp just proclaims that there's going to be a more positive future, and through his ability to tell the future and Luffy's ability to like dream things into existence, maybe between the two they do that. I feel like I'm really kind of grasping at straws there, but the mural predicting the future, or like the Void Century predicting the future, or the Rio Poneglyph, the stuff at Laugh Tale, whatever, all this prophecy stuff, it makes me think that they could kind of rewrite the universe in a way, so not sure. Simon just grows old and lives hobo style. Oh, that's right. I could see that too. But see, like I see a future where Luffy, like, I don't know, marries Boa and probably has kids. Like I don't know if Oda will make that into the canon. You know, like it might be like a post One Piece kind of thing that he does for fun, where he shows Luffy with Boa or something. But I kind of envision that happening, where they get a happy ending. So he would kind of have to be like his normal self, or his adult self at least. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think that's a really good question. Axem, you said, I know, but during the giveaway, I told you I got the one you pulled and to give it to the next. It's the Kaido and Linlin. So do you not want any of the cards? I believe I sent that one to them. I believe. I'm pretty sure. Because I remember you saying that, but do you not want the other ones? Because I think you got some other stuff too. But if you don't, that's completely fine. Because I can include that. I mean, I actually have a couple of, or at least one other person who I still have some decent cards from. So I mean, I can just send that to somebody else. But I believe I sent the Kaido and Linlin to that person, because I remember you saying that. I can open and double check, but so I don't know what else you got though. I mean, it's just the commons and stuff, because that was back when I was still giving away the commons. So you have all the rares and commons, but I mean, I can give it away to somebody else if you want. And you said, but you're the goat, man, or you're two goat, whichever one you meant. I appreciate you, man. Seriously, that means a lot. Knack Talk, formerly known as Knack Reacts, just pulled in. Knack, thank you, brother. We are going to be wrapping up the stream soon, but I'm glad you could at least pop in for a little bit. It's actually getting pretty hot in here. Give it to the next. You're the goat. Appreciate you, Axe. I will definitely do that. And I don't know if you saw, but in the last giveaway I did, Axe, I forgot to give this away, but I showed it like this. I was like, I don't want to rat them out, but it was yours that I had to give away. So So I'll just do that next time, and I'll let them know it's from you, and to give you a big thank you. So I appreciate you. GDJ, spoilers for a series that ended 10 years ago. That's hilarious. But it's funny because I do that all the time. Like whenever I talk about Hunter x Hunter and we get onto the Chimera Ant arc, I feel like I'm not allowed to talk, even though that came out forever ago, and I'm sure most people have seen it. But it's also kind of like, it's kind of the end for the series. I know they're still doing stuff, but that's sort of like the, you know, that's like the big climax of where the series is now. I feel like that's like where most people, that's like the big arc that people think about. So I feel the same way. Like whenever I talk about stuff, I never want to spoil anybody. But Knack, you said I'm late. I know. Just got the chance to sit down. Hey, it's all good, man. I'm glad you could be here at all. Seriously. Nick, you got my address, Stack. Hey, I do, and I know it very well because they sent the one back for no reason, and then I wrote, like, they sent it back, and then I just wrote the same exact address that I had the first time, but with like my own handwriting, and then it worked. Which I'm like, the computer font, like the printing, should be way more clear than my own handwriting. Why does that happen? But I had stuff returned. There's like a 2-week period where I had like 5 different things returned. I don't know why. USPS was on one, but Axe, no worries, bro. I appreciate you. I'm actually glad that, like, whenever people like you or whoever don't respond about the cards like being given away, the thing that always worries me the most is like something happened to you, you know? So I'm just glad you're back and I know you're okay. I had a guy on TCG Player, I sold him some cards and I sent it to him, but then it got sent back to me, like we were just talking about. It got sent back to me for like incorrect address or something, but that was bogus. And so I sent him a message and I told him, hey, I just got the cards returned. I just want to double check your address is correct before I resend it back. And he didn't answer for like a month and a half. And I sat there thinking like, bro, did he get evicted? Is he in the hospital? Like, is he in jail? Like, what happened to this guy that he isn't responding about his $20 worth of cards? And then he just responded to me the other day and was like, "Oh, hey, sorry I missed this. Yeah, something was wrong. Can you just refund me for the order?" And I literally told him like, "Dude, yeah, I can totally refund you. I'm just glad you're okay, because I was thinking something really bad happened to you. Because like, you don't spend $20 on cards and have the seller tell you, "Hey, I got them back. What do you want me to do?" Like, you don't miss those unless something happens. But I guess he was just busy. I don't know. Devil. Very fitting that you asked this question. What do you think Luffy can do against Emu? I don't know. I am super intrigued to see where that goes. Because I've heard people bring up, and Mr. Bushido did it. With Bushido, I don't know if you're still here. I know you had that super chat earlier, which we could talk about more with the Tequila Wolf, all the different wolf situations. But I've heard theories that like Brook could use music to get through to Gunko, because maybe they have a connection through music, or we know they have a connection of some sort, and maybe Brook gets through to her and like messes with the control, and that's what happens here. But even if that happens, that's not going to be a permanent fix. Like, that's just going to be a Gunko specific thing. So what's going to happen later when we have to fight Emu in totality? And I've also heard people bring up that Usopp maybe will be immune to this this reversey game thing, kind of like he was immune to Perona, and maybe like how he defeated Sugar, like maybe he's going to be the one to do this. But again, just like Brook, I think if that happens, that's going to be a temporary fix. Like, Oda is not going to make it where Brook and Usopp can actually beat Emu. Like, Brook and Usopp are my favorite 2 Straw Hats, so this is not coming from a point of hate. It's coming from a point of realism that if they do have anything to do with Emu, that's going to be temporary. It's going to be an Elbaf specific one-off situation. So I say that all to say, as far as what Luffy can do to Emu, maybe Luffy won't figure it out this arc, but eventually he will have to figure it out. So I don't know. Man. I don't see Luffy going in and immediately having an advantage. Like, is Gear 5th gonna help him beat Emu? Sure, because Nika is like Emu's greatest enemy. Joy Boy had the same fruit. There's a lot of connections there. it's going to have something to do with it, but I don't think it's going to be simply like Luffy goes into Gear 5th and Imu's sweating like, oh, I have no idea how to beat this. I'm definitely going to lose. I need to run the clock out because if he's in Gear 5th, I have no chance. Like, I don't think that's going to be it. Because we also saw with Luffy against like the Gorosei, like he punched Topman and like his fist was hurting, which hopefully JJ's not in the chat to talk up his boy Topman, but so I don't know. I guess that's just a long-winded way of saying I don't know. It doesn't seem like Luffy has an immediate overall advantage against what's going on. But at the same time, you know, like somebody's got to stop Emu and save the day. So I don't know, man. You said, I'm asking so I could prepare to fight Luffy. Also, I think maybe Luffy can create his own army like Emu, like he did with Bonnie. Yeah. So that's a good thought too. I've heard people say that because like in Reversey, if you have pieces on each end of a row of pieces, they'll flip, which is what happened with the Giants. And so if you do the same thing with Bonnie and Luffy, will they flip back or will they flip into Gear 5? And I think that's like virtually a guarantee to happen, to be honest with you. And so that goes back to what I was saying, where like that doesn't give Luffy like an immediate advantage over Emu per se. Like it's not like Luffy's going to be able to go defeat Emu right away because of this. But it does set the stage for a fun strategy thing where it's, you know, Luffy's going to learn, hey, you can't go punch your way out of every situation. You got to think through some certain situations, right? There's strategy to this sometimes. And I think that'd be a really good lesson for Luffy because so far, Gear 5th has really been about, like, let me go kick as much ass as possible. Like, let me be so wacky and goofy that no one can stop me and I just go beat everybody up. Like, that's kind of what it's been. But if it becomes we're like, hey, Luffy, even though you're all powerful and you feel invincible and your peak, all this, you can't, that's not going to work every time, you know? And so, and it also goes back to Drum Island, which is very important right now, by the way, in my opinion, with the Scopper and Chopper situation. I think we're about to get some Kureha lore. I've been on this for a minute. I think I got a lot of theories in regards to that. I think the whole Mountain Eater situation happened at Drums. There's a lot of Drum Island stuff. But remember at the start of Drum, Luffy was telling the Drum Kingdom people, like, he was kind of combative. Like, hey, help my friend or else. Like, my friend's sick. You have to help them. I don't care. Like, let's have a fight, whatever. And Vivi's like, no, like, put your head down. Not everything can be solved with violence. Sometimes you got to be diplomatic. And I think... and also Vivi was in Little Garden as well, so there's a connection there now that we're in Elbaf. But I think that's going to come back in a major way, where Luffy's got to realize, like, okay, I can't fight every person that I see. Some people are going to be unable to be defeated with combat. I have to think through it in certain situations, especially in Gear 5th, because Luffy isn't thinking that much in Gear 5th. Now, like, is he a complete idiot? I think some people overplay that, where, like, you know, like, he's not paying attention. He's just laughing. He's not being serious. I think there's a little bit more to it than that. But regardless, Luffy in general is not much of a thinker, right? Even outside of Gear 5th. He's not a planner. He's not a strategy guy. But I think that's just a good lesson for Oda to throw in at this point in the story, is for Luffy to realize he has to think through certain things. So... Devil, you said, yeah, I don't even want Luffy to beat Emu right away. It should be character development and being serious to trying to defeat Emu. Like, Emu is possibly the main villain. I completely agree with that. 100%. 100%. And it could even matter for Blackbeard later, too, because Blackbeard is definitely a strategy guy. He's a mastermind. He's a thinker. He goes in when he knows he's going to win, or at least he has a very good chance, or the risk is worth the reward, where Luffy often just goes in willy-nilly. And so I do think there's a little bit of interplay there where, like, that's Luffy's next step. Like, yes, he has to figure out the key to the regeneration, whatever that is, which I think is going to be life return or biofeedback, somewhere like that. But whatever it is, Luffy's going to have to figure that out. But I don't even think that's going to be, like, the end all. Like, I think Luffy's got to figure other things out to beat Emu. Like, hey, Luffy, these aren't just strong people. You know, there's magic. There's, like, rules to what they're doing, and you got to learn those. So, Devil, you said, also asking this, Brook was definitely part of the Holy Knights, right? I don't think he ever was a part of them. And I really need to get this video done, because I have it done already, but now I got to redo it. But anyways, I don't think he joined them, but I do think he was asked to join and denied them. I could see that for sure. And now the little bit of issue with that is like the only person we've seen that was asked to join before was Loki. And I love Brooke, but like Loki is like several tiers above Brooke in strength, you know? So like whenever they ask Loki, I'm like, yeah, that's probably a good person to ask. If you go ask Brooke, you know, before he even joined the Pirates and stuff, like I don't know how strong he really was. I don't think he was overwhelmingly strong. So it'd be a little weird. But by the same token, you look at Gunko, and we saw that Gunko was invited, and there it seems like Brooke and her are from the same place. So I think there's definitely a chance that he was, you know, asked to join since she eventually joined. So yeah. Devil, you said, but see his outfit in that panel. But he was the leader of a battle convoy in his prior life. So I think that's more so what the outfit is for, is that, you know, he was working for his own island's government, not the world government. And if he was a God's Knight, like technically possible that he would have still been with Gunko for some reason. But then you got to think like the God's Knights spend most of their time up in Marijois or doing these missions. And so Gunko and Brooke probably wouldn't have built that much of a connection if like Brooke only visited that island for like a day or two for whatever God's Knights activities, right? I don't think they would have developed this like close friendship to the point to where her memories are coming back. It feels like a Pell and Igaram situation with Vivi. I think a lot of people have brought that up. Where it's like he was a leader of that battle convoy, maybe protecting the princess, and so they got really close over the years, and that's why she's having these memories. That's the vibe I get. But I think he definitely met the God's Knights, and being asked to join is definitely relevant. But I think, or definitely possible, I should say. But I'm thinking that like their island got attacked, and Brooke denied to join the God's Knights, and maybe Gunko's dad also died in the midst of all this, and that's what got them all separated. And that explains how he knows of the God's Knights. It explains why he even became a pirate, because after his island got taken over, he couldn't be a pirate anymore, or he couldn't work there anymore because they got taken over. And also, and this was something that was in my video, and this is why I should probably just hurry up and get it out. But if you think about the native cleansings, they happen every 3 years. And the one that happened at God Valley was 38 years ago. And so for one thing, that means that if Brooke is from God Valley, he would not have been at that cleansing, which is my biggest reason for thinking Brooke isn't from God Valley, because it's just by virtue of him knowing the God's Knights, it makes me think he met them, which means he probably would have been present at a cleansing, and it couldn't have been God Valley. So that's why I think it's a different one. But they happen every 3 years, and God Valley happened 38 years ago. So that means we also had one 41, 44, 47, 50, and most importantly, 53 years ago. Now, why is 53 important? That's because Brooke was lost in the Florian Triangle starting 52 years ago. So I'm wondering if that cleansing happened 53 years ago, and that's where the island fell apart, and Brooke met the God's Knights, and maybe even where Brooke got his devil fruit, because I mean, the revive fruit's kind of crazy. If all the God Valley cleansings have prizes at them, maybe maybe the revive fruit was there, and that's how he got it. And after everything fell apart, that's where he, started the Rumbar Pirates, or, found a couple people to start the Rumbar Pirates. And then maybe they sailed for about a year, and then everything happened, and that's the story, pretty much. I think it lines up pretty well for that. Tiny Angry Gnome, you said hello. Welcome, my friend. Welcome in. I've been working on the video that you know about for a while. I got the script up right here, actually. The script is tough, man. I said it at the start of the stream, but theories that build on that are like random are really hard to script, because I gotta trickle in enough agreeable stuff to make people think I'm not crazy. Or I can just rip the Band-Aid off and get right into the craziness, and I'm debating that right now. I don't know, it's a fire theory one way or another. Rastafarian, man, imagine Emu Okay, you said, man, imagine Emu pushes too hard. I thought you said, man, imagine Emu plushies. And I was like, bro, they're releasing an Emu plushie. My editor sent me a video of it. Imagine that thing sitting in your bedroom, staring back at you. You know, you wake up in the middle of the night and Emu's just, you know, like, God damn, I'm good. But you actually said, man, imagine Emu pushes too hard with Gunko and they get her ass in a Domi flip and it just sends Emu back to Marijois and everyone goes back to normal. That would be crazy. And you know, that makes me think, what happens if Emu gets sent back? Like, because we saw with the Joy Boy rope hockey, right? That like when the Gorosei got sent back, like their pentagrams canceled. Now Saturn, that didn't happen because he was physically there. Now he technically also teleported from the ship to the island, but whatever, you know, semantics, I guess, or whatever. We don't have to be too specific, but Saturn was there, so I get why he didn't go back. But because all the other Gorosei did, it makes me wonder if Emu gets sent back from like a hockey burst, will all the Domi reversey things flip back because Emu's like not close enough, or are they permanent, or will they die if they're left unchecked? Like I brought this up in my most recent video, but you think about like Sulong and the Ice Oni virus, like those are two power-ups that were like temporary, but only because people would die if they just kept using them, like because they couldn't control them. And so I always wonder, like, what's going to happen if Emu goes back, or what happens if we don't figure out the Domi reversey thing, you know? Perhaps Queen Gunko's memories come back. Gunko has so many fans, man. I know in the Discord we got plenty of Gunko for Nakama members. Bro, if it's permanent, this is going to be a sad arc. I mean, it like, I don't necessarily want a lot of the giants to die, but I do think some have to start making things feel a little more compelling. Because, like, you know, we all know that Oda doesn't like killing off his characters, but at the same time, doing it occasionally is what makes us feel the stakes and makes us feel something. And I think he's doing a good job now by having the kids get threatened, because that feels like, you know, they're pretty much defenseless. And oh my God, Ronya stole the freaking show. Ronya is a treasure. So like Oda's done a good job of making us feel threatened in that way. But at the same time, I think like it sucks. But if some giants died, especially Dorian Brogy, we'd be like, oh man, like we are in the end game, aren't we? You know. So I don't know. We'll see. But all right, guys, I think I'm gonna get out of here. We are a little bit past 2 hours, which I honestly was. It felt. I say this every time, but it felt like an hour, or even less than that. It felt like it was no time at all. So, but thank you guys for coming in and supporting the stream. Thank you for the donations, and also the membership gifting. Everyone who did so, I appreciate you. We will be back next week for a chapter reaction. I'm gonna do everything in my power to get a video out this weekend. I got a couple, like, I don't know if it'll be the Brook one. I don't know if it'll be this, the one from Tiny Angry Gnome. I don't know what theory it'll be, but I got a couple. I have a couple shorts that are edited. I just need to post them, honestly, so maybe you'll have some shorts up. But yeah, we got some content coming. I'm trying to stop dragging my feet. I will be busy tomorrow, though, exercising. We'll say exercising my First Amendment rights tomorrow. I guess we'll say if you guys are in tune with the world in the U.S., you'll know what I mean. But I'm busy tomorrow, exercising my rights. So we'll see how long that takes. But I want to get a video done for you guys. So hopefully tomorrow we'll see how it goes. Hopefully nothing bad happens. But the world's in a sketchy place right now, guys. So we'll see. But hopefully nothing bad enough happens where I can still get a video done. If I don't get a video done, don't think anything bad happened. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I will be safe. But all right, guys, I appreciate you. See you guys next week. I'll be back. Marvelous stream, Scopperdack. Thank you, Rastafarian. Thank you very much. I want to start streaming more often and doing more casual stuff like this, like anime reaction or just prediction or just random topics. So, hearing comments like that definitely helps for sure. So thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. We'll look out for you on the news. Well, hey, if you see a straw hat flag on the news, You know who it was, all right? You know who it was. I don't know what I'm taking with me yet to exercise my First Amendment rights, but I have very much thought about some One Piece related things. So we'll see. We'll see. But hopefully you don't see me on the news. That would be a good thing. I honestly, well, now I got to think about it, because if I get taken away secretly, then I wouldn't be on the news, but that would be a bad thing. So I don't know. If I'm on the news, hopefully I'm saying something prophetic. But all right, guys, either way, I'm going to get out of here for real this time. Hope you all have a great weekend, by the way. If you're going to go exercise your First Amendment rights, be safe, be peaceful, but be loud. And